The headline says the U.S. just blocked Ukraine from building Patriot missiles. The narrative implies a betrayal or a sudden policy flip-flop by Trump. But this isn't about abandoning an ally, it's a cold calculation of strategic depth. By limiting specific high-end air defense capabilities, Washington is prioritizing one outcome above all else: preventing the conflict from spilling over into a direct NATO-Russia war. The math suggests that more firepower doesn't always equal better strategy when the alternative is total escalation. To understand this move, we must first discard the assumption that military aid functions as a simple binary, where adding weapons automatically improves victory odds for Ukraine. In high-stakes geopolitics, the most effective strategic tool is sometimes restraint rather than expansion. The deployment of Patriot systems was never intended to be an offensive game-changer, but rather a calibrated instrument designed for long-term deterrence stability. The primary driver behind this decision is preventing direct NATO-Russia conflict by providing targeted protection without overwhelming offensive capability that could trigger Russian escalation. The limitations of the system itself reveal why Washington might hesitate before authorizing unlimited production or deployment. A single Patriot battery offers limited coverage, with legacy radar systems covering approximately 120 degrees compared to 360 degrees provided by newer LTAMDS units. This creates a significant gap in defensive capability that requires multiple batteries to secure even small sectors of the front line. Furthermore, these are not silver bullets for stopping mass missile barrages. They rely on expensive hit-to-kill interceptors, where one shot costs hundreds of thousands of dollars against incoming threats. The presence of the system serves as a potent symbol of political commitment without guaranteeing total air superiority or an immediate shift in battlefield momentum. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. This brings us to the core risk calculus driving this restriction, the escalation ladder. If Ukraine were granted full, unrestricted access to high-value assets like Patriot batteries across their entire border, they could potentially achieve near-total air dominance. While desirable on a tactical level, such capability introduces a dangerous strategic vulnerability. It increases the probability that Russian forces would feel compelled to strike NATO soil directly in response to perceived existential threats from US-made systems operating so close to shared borders. By denying Ukraine full air dominance through these restrictions, Washington maintains a circuit breaker for the conflict. This ensures the fighting remains contained within Ukrainian territory and reduces the likelihood of Russia engaging NATO assets directly, such as shooting down planes that cross into Polish airspace, thereby preserving the stability required to avoid World War III. Behind this strategic calculation lies a hard financial reality that forces these decisions regardless of political rhetoric. The United States has already exhausted $86 billion in appropriated military aid since the conflict began. As of recent congressional records, only about $4 billion remains available in drawdown authority, with no funds currently allocated to replenish stockpiles sent out under presidential drawdown authority. This creates a logistical ceiling that makes rapid escalation impossible without new legislative action. New production via foreign military sales contracts takes an average of 42 months from contract award to final delivery, meaning any decision to ramp up Patriot manufacturing today would not yield results until well into the next administration's term. Consequently, what appears as a pause or restriction is also a mechanism for leverage and burden, sharing with allies who have been slower than necessary in stepping up their contributions. The Trump administration has used ultimatums regarding aid suspensions to force European partners, who have pledged roughly $40 billion but delivered significantly less of that value on the ground, to accelerate their own defense production and funding commitments. This effectively outsources some of the burden while managing U.S. risk exposure during a period where domestic political will is fractured. The restriction serves as pressure to ensure that when aid does flow, it comes from a coalition, rather than relying solely on American taxpayers who are facing their own budgetary constraints at home. The distinction between rapid delivery and long-term manufacturing timelines further clarifies why the U.S. cannot simply flip a switch to send more weapons. Weapons arriving under presidential drawdown authority can reach Ukraine within 6 months because they come from existing stockpiles, but new contracts for foreign military sales require years of production cycles due to global supply chain bottlenecks in missile and radar components. This 42-month lag means that even if the political will existed today to authorize unlimited Patriot systems, the battlefield reality would not change until long after any immediate crisis has passed or shifted. For the curious viewer trying to parse these conflicting signals from Washington, this shift reframes current events from a story of betrayal into one of calculated containment. It highlights that the real battlefield is often diplomatic and logistical rather than just kinetic exchanges on the ground. The decision to restrict specific high-value assets like Patriots is not about weakening an ally's ability to fight, but about managing the probability of a global conflagration while ensuring sustainable defense capabilities over time. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.